Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. I hope everybody's had a good couple of weeks out there. Sorry about not getting a podcast out last week. However, if you remembered, I had my hand surgery on Monday, and it feels good. I was a little surprised when I woke up because according to my buddy Ed, who had the same surgery, he was in a cast for a couple of weeks when he came to out of surgery. However, when I woke up, my hand was just bandaged. So the cut on my hand is a little bit different than what my buddy's was. He showed me pictures of his hand, and this one on mine, it actually goes down more towards the middle of my hand and down to my wrist, then over and then down a little bit more. Kind of like in the shape of a thunderbolt, or a lightning bolt, I'm sorry. I guess they did some stuff with my Guyan canal, which I don't know for sure exactly what that is. When I came to, my doc was in surgery. He had a couple surgeries after mine, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but so apparently they did some stuff with my Guyan canal, which your ulnar nerve runs through that canal. So I don't know exactly what he did. My pinky finger is still a little numb and tingly in my ring finger. Other than that, my hand doesn't feel too bad. They've had me doing some hand kind of like finger exercises, basically doing some home therapy. And it doesn't feel all that bad. Another thing that I was surprised about, I went back for my follow-up after the surgery, and my doctors, I still didn't get to talk to him. I talked to his PA, and she had told me that, no strenuous exercise, no work, lifting things over 2 pounds, pushing or pulling, and also no golf for 4 weeks, which I was also a little surprised at when my buddy Ed told me he wasn't allowed to do any golf for 8 weeks. So I don't know if it's going to remain that way, that I've only got a 4-week window that I have to not play any golf. Not that I would be able to play golf anyhow right now, because even moving my wrist is still a little painful. So, but anyhow, it doesn't look all that bad, and like I said, it's a little different than what my buddy Ed's was. So anyhow, that was Monday. They gave me some pain meds, and so I was pretty much out of it for the whole day Monday, and there was no way I was going to be able to get a podcast done being in the condition I was in. But anyhow, it's been a couple of weeks, so we got a lot of stuff to go over, starting with the FIA tournaments at the Wanalua. Joe P still remains the belt holder, and nobody's been able to get that belt from him. So, and also, like, they played the OCC Invitational, Oahu Country Club Invitational tournament this past week also, and there's been a few of the guys I golf with and play tournaments with. They did end up playing in that, and they did pretty good. Joe P played, and he ended up tied for 4th place. And my buddy Rob Kim, that I play with the Beach Boys, he ended up in 2nd place. So congrats to those 2 guys for having a good tournament. Brandon Kopp, another guy that I golf with in tournaments, he won the senior flight. And Phil Animuz, I always mess his last name up, Phil Anamizu, won the super senior flight. Phil's a great guy. Played golf with him in a couple of different clubs also before. The winner of the open flight was Kyle Nakazaki. So congrats to those guys on a good tournament. Congrats to Kyle on winning it. It's a fun tournament. I wish I would have been able to play in it. I've played in the past, but with this hand, obviously I'm knocked out of it. So congrats to those guys on their good finish in the tournament. Beach Boys Golf. Today they played at Hawaii Prince. Last week they played at Royal Kenia. Not a lot of guys have been coming out. It's the numbers have kind of dwindled a little bit. Not a lot of guys have been playing. I know the one day they only had like 5 guys. I think they had 8 or 9 guys play yesterday and today, or last weekend and yesterday. So if you guys are interested in joining the Beach Boys Golf Club, just go to our website, beachboysgolfclub.org, and there's a spot there to contact us, and you can let us know that you want to join, and we'll get you set up. I know that the guys have kind of been playing here and there. They've been setting up some golf. Guys from the VGA have been setting up some golf dates and playing. So they've still been playing on the weekends. And I know that regionals is coming up. So good luck to everybody that is going to regionals. It's kind of a little disheartening, I got to say. And I know Shep's probably listening. And so I haven't really talked to him about this yet. But I saw a email from the VGA headquarters. And I guess they're going to up the registration fee for each tournament to $20 from $10. And I think they're also going to up the registration fee when you join. The registration fee I can understand. I can see that being increased, but the tournament registration fee going to $20, then you also got to play. You also got to pay your green fees at the golf course. I don't know if I'm going to be playing a lot of VGA events this year. I might play a couple that I want to play in, but I won't be signing up, I don't think, for everyone. I'm not at $20 a pop. I think that's a little high to be charging for a registration fee just to play in the tournament. So I guess the new season is going to be starting, I want to say August. They're going to start do a wraparound season, and they're going to make it longer. I think when I first started playing in it, the season it was very short. It was like, I don't know, May to or June to October or something like that. It wasn't very long. So they've been expanding it. And I know Shep has expanded our season local here to make sure guys get enough tournaments in to qualify for regionals and state and all that kind of stuff. So, but good luck to those guys. They're going to be leaving here in a couple of weeks, maybe a week and a half, to go to Arizona to play in the regional tournament. So good luck to all those guys that are going. Local tournaments, I haven't been staying up on because I haven't been able to play. So with me not playing, I couldn't tell you what's coming up as far as our local Hawaii State Golf Association tournaments, but I know they always got stuff going on. So you can go to the website, Hawaii State Golf Association, and look up those tournaments that they're going to be playing. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back. Hey guys, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you how. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Not only that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other sites. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. All right, welcome back, everybody. In PGA news, we've had a few tournaments go on these last couple of weeks. So July 8th through the 11th, you had the John Deere Classic, played at TPC Deer Run. Lucas Glover was your winner of that tournament. It was his fourth win of his career, and he won by 2 shots over Ryan Moore. Last week, you had the Barbasol, 2 tournaments going on. You had the Barbasol Championship at Keene Trace Golf Club there in Kentucky, and you also had the Open Championship played over at Royal St. George's Golf Club in Kent, England. So in the Barbasol Championship, you had Seamus Power, his first win of his career, and he was in a 6-hole playoff with JT Poston. So congrats to Seamus on his first career win. Over at the Open Championship at Royal St. George's Golf Club, Colin Morikawa won his second major. Shot 15 under and it was a 72-hole record in 15 opens at Royal St. George's Golf Club. And I've said this, talked about Colin Morikawa before, that this guy is really good. He's one of my favorite players on tour. He's had some issues with his putting, but man, he putted good yesterday and ended up winning that tournament. But the guy he's got game, and he's going to win a lot more. And I believe he tied with Tiger and a couple other, and like Justin or Jordan Spieth and a couple other guys that went in 2 majors before they turned 25. So he's got 2 of the 4 majors. He only needs 2 more to get that Grand Slam. So congrats to Colin Morikawa on a job well done, and good luck here in the future. Of course, we got the Brent Grant watch on the Korn Ferry Tour. July 9th through the 12th, you have the Tpc San Antonio Challenge, and Brent finished tied for 44th in that tournament, shot 11 under. He had 3 good rounds in the 60s and 1 round of 70, almost all 4 rounds in the 60s again. So he made the cut in that tournament and finished tied for 44th. They also played the Tpc San Antonio Championship this past week. Unfortunately, Brent missed the cut in that tournament. I think he shot like 72, 74, missed the cut. So at current right now, he's 73rd on the money list. And, you know, they take the top 25 on the money list, make it, and get their PGA Tour card. They take the top 75, make the Korn Ferry Tour finals. So hopefully Brent can, he's got a few more tournaments left. I mean, I think the final tournament's like in September, first week in September. So he's got some tournaments to play well in and get up, stay within that top 75 to play in the finals. So good luck to Brent. We always wish him luck, and we're always watching here to see what he does. I know a couple of people asked me why, you know, I haven't said anything about the winner of those tournaments. To be honest with you, I'm watching out for Brent. He's the only guy on that tour that I care about what he does. So it's not any disrespect to those other players. It's just that all I care about is Brent on that tour, and I want him to get his card to make it to the PGA Tour. So good luck to Brent on his I don't know if he's playing this coming week, but if he is, good luck to him, and hopefully he plays well, makes the cut, and gets in the he's had a few top 10s this year, so hopefully he can get a win, pull out a win, and that'll shoot him up the money list. So I've been asked a couple of questions regarding some rules and some, I don't know if you want to classify them as etiquette things, but one of the things I've been asked about is how do you approach somebody that is not exactly counting their strokes the way they should be. And I was told there was a guy that he'll hit a bad shot and sometimes he won't count it. You have to, it kind of all depends on what you're doing too. If you're just playing for fun, it's not that big of a deal. But when you're playing for any type of money or club play or anything like that, then you have to protect the field. And if you think that somebody is not counting their score correctly, don't get me wrong, everybody makes a mistake here or there. But when it's a continual thing, then maybe, I'm not saying that they're cheating, but maybe they're just not paying attention to what they're doing. Because I know I've played with a couple of guys that they'll hit 4 or 5 shots and then they'll get on the green and make, 2-putt, and they'll forget some of the bad shots they made. Not on purpose. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose, but they may have forgot that they chunked that one. So you as a playing partner, you have to correct them if you know that they, miscounted. You have to, and there's several ways. The way I normally do it is if I ask somebody what they had on a hole and they tell me, oh, I had a 5, but they really had a 6. If they say 5, I go, are you sure it wasn't a 6? And then I will, if they'll count them, and then if they come up with 5, then I'll say, well, what about this shot? You dubbed this one. So that was 1, 2 the dub, 3 short, 4 on, 2 putt, 5, 6. So sometimes and most times the person will just go, oh yeah, that's right. Shoot, sorry, I forgot that. I forgot I dubbed that one. And I've done that in the past before. I'm not saying that I've never, miscounted what I had on a hole. I don't do it on a regular basis, but it has happened. So I guess as far as your question goes as to how do you approach somebody or how do you say that, I would just say you don't have to be a jerk about it. You can just say, hey, are you sure you didn't have this? And then count each stroke with them and point out, this was here, this was there, this was there. And then 9 times out of 10, they're going to go, oh yeah, shoot, sorry. Yep. Now, are there guys that do it routinely? Yes. And they normally get called out. I personally don't have a problem calling somebody on something, and especially a rules violation. That's another question that got brought up to me about how do you confront somebody that has violated rules infraction and they didn't call it on themselves, or when you bring it up, that they deny it. So normally what happens is whenever there's a discrepancy about a rule and somebody says, well, I saw you do this, and the person says, I didn't do that, this is what happened. If it's a one-on-one situation, then when they come in and discuss it with the rules person or committee, and they're differing opinions about what has happened, the benefit of the doubt goes towards the player, not the person bringing up the infraction. Not to say that it didn't happen. Now, if 2 or 3 people saw it, that's different. Whenever there's a question about whether there's a rules infraction or how you should proceed, you should always play 2 balls. When you come in, then you discuss it with the person before you turn in your scorecard. You discuss what happened, and then a decision is made as far as what your score should be on that hole. And like I said, if it's just one-on-one and the player says this is what happened and the other person says this is what happened, then the ruling has to go towards the player. They get the benefit of the doubt. And not everybody knows the rules. So you got, I know the majority of the rules. I don't know every single rule, and I get called a lot. I get called very often by people that are playing, especially friends of mine, and they'll say, hey, Murph, his ball went up in the tree, never came down. What's the rule? Does he have to take a stroke? I'm like, yes, you got to take a stroke. That's an unplayable. You drop the ball wherever it is you think it is in the tree. You drop it down on the ground under it, wherever that line is, and they have to take a stroke. So I get called all the time. I bet I got 3 calls last week from guys that were playing, and they had different questions. One of those was that one I just mentioned about the ball being in a tree. Also, I get questioned about a ball that goes up against a bush, a row of bushes, and they wanted to know if they got a free drop. And I said, well, no. I mean, if it's a row of bushes along something, if it's in a flower bed, that somebody made by a tee box and the ball goes in it, you get relief out of that. It's a man-made obstruction. But bushes are not, you don't get free relief from bushes. You have to take a drop. You take an unplayable, 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole, and 1 stroke. So not everybody is going to know the rules, but if you don't know a rule and you're not sure about how to proceed, you should always play 2 balls. That was another thing that came up that was in a match play situation. It was in a stroke play situation, but in match play, it's a little different because in stroke play, if there's a question about how to proceed, you play 2 balls. 2 people that are just playing cannot make the decision about how to proceed if they're not sure about the rule. The rule says you have to play 2 balls, and then a decision will be made by the committee when you come in. In match play, it's a little different. If I'm playing somebody and we come up against a rules question, as long as we both agree that that person is doing the right thing, then they can proceed to do what they think is right. And you don't have to play 2 balls. But in stroke play, you must play 2 balls if you don't know the rule. And you need to get a ruling. Now, a lot of these tournaments that we play in, they have rules officials riding around. So 9 times out of 10, you can call one over and then they'll tell you how to proceed. So you don't have to play 2 balls, but not every tournament is like that. So let's take another short break and we'll be right back. If you haven't heard the new C Money Baby album yet, you're missing the best thing to come out of Ohio since Jim Tressel. Smart Boy, Dumb Decisions is a look into the life of C Money Baby, lately filled with loss, pain, struggle, and danger. The Gym City rapper gives you high-energy bangers and deep introspective slow jams. To check out the album, just search up C Money Baby. Don't forget the baby on your favorite streaming platform or visit www.smartboystudios.com. Also, don't forget, Corey Gossett is dropping a song every single week this year. Stay up to date by following him on Spotify or Apple Music by searching Corey Gossett, or look him up on Instagram or Twitter under @KidWhoCameBack. Head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, and any upcoming events. If you'd like to support Smart Boy Studios and their artists, head to threads.smartboystudios.com and check out the merch. They have hats, hoodies, shirts, and more. All right, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, speaking of Smart Boy Studios, Corey and my son will be coming out here. I think it's 92 days they'll be out here. Right after our trip to Thailand, which we got some news today, man. That's kind of, they're going into another lockdown right there where we're going to be going. So, we're at about 80 some days out. October 1st we leave. So I know they're locking down again until like August 2nd or 12th or something like that. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be cutting it close. Hopefully they get open back up so we can get this 9-day tournament in. Shep's got the new belt ordered, so hopefully we'll get this tournament in and I can come back with this belt. And the way it's working with this hand, hopefully I'll be playing long before we go to Thailand for golf. So, hey, if you guys have any other questions or topics you want to discuss, just shoot me an email at merceplace808@gmail.com. I appreciate everybody's questions and ideas that they have threw my way so far. Also, thank you guys, the guys that are supporting the podcast. I appreciate that. We're getting new listeners every day. The list keeps growing. We've got people in Finland, Norway, Sweden, all over Japan, Singapore, Philippines, listening to the podcast. So I appreciate everybody's tuning in and listening. But like I said, if you guys have any other questions or topics you want to discuss, just shoot me an email. Also, if you'd like to help support the podcast, there's a spot there that a link you can click on to help support it and to keep bringing content. Hopefully, like I said, I want to get Brent on here and talk to him, and I'll get a couple of the other guys on here. We need to get the Four Horsemen back on here soon to discuss the belt. I guess there's been some controversy with the belt and some differing opinions on what it takes to what it should take to win the belt. So we'll get those guys back on here and we'll discuss that. I think right now that Shep has the belt. Troy had it for a couple of weeks, and then I think Shep won it the other day. So hopefully I'll get back involved in that and get that belt away from those guys. So anyhow, with that being said, I hope everybody has a good week. Hopefully you're playing golf, unlike me, who is not. But hopefully if you are playing, Hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them very often. Aloha, everybody.